Welcome to Omega Bonda Stories. Let's begin.
I remember the exact second the world went quiet because even now my body flinches when I hear a monitor beep in a movie. One moment I was standing in the hospital corridor holding a paper cup of bitter coffee and telling myself I could survive one more double shift. The next moment my fingers stopped obeying me and the cup slid away as if gravity had changed its mind. I did not fall like a drama. I folded slowly and my knees found the floor before my mind could name what was happening. I was an Omega who learned to live small on purpose. I kept blockers on. I kept my gaze down. I worked nights in emergency intake because the pay was better and the people were too tired to stare. I told myself a hospital was the safest place for someone like me because help lived in every hallway. I was wrong in a way that still tastes like metal. My chest tightened as if a hand closed around my ribs. Breath became shallow and useless. Sound drifted away. Faces blurred. Someone shouted my name and it sounded like it came from underwater. I tried to answer and nothing came out. The last thought I remember was simple and furious. Not here. Not when I finally have a little stability. Darkness took me and I could not sleep. It was absent. There was no tunnel and no light and no gentle comfort. There was only nothing and then the strange awareness that I was watching from far away as people moved around a body that should have been mine. Hands pressed to my throat. Numbers called out. A crash cart rolling in fast. Pressure on my sternum. A mask over my face. Pain like a distant echo and then nothing again. Later they told me my heart stopped. Later they told me 7 minutes had passed. 7 minutes is a small number until you imagine the people you love receiving a call. 7 minutes is a small number until you picture oxygen leaving your brain like a tide pulling back from shore. The first thing that returned was scent. Cool and controlled like rain on stone. Cut through disinfectant and fear. My instincts reacted before my mind did. They tried to curl inward and hide. They tried to reach outward and anchor. I did not understand why a scent could feel like a steady wall between me and panic. A voice spoke near my ear. Stay with me. Breathe. My lungs dragged air in as if they were learning the motion from scratch. Light stabbed my eyes. I coughed and my throat burned. I heard relief in the room. I felt a hand at the back of my neck that did not squeeze or command. It only held me gently so the mask could stay sealed. When my vision cleared, I saw him. He stood beside the bed close enough that his shadow fell across my chest. He wore a dark coat that did not belong in a hospital, and yet everyone acted as if it did. Doctors moved faster. Nurses lowered their voices. A security guard stood at the door like a stone. The man watching me was famous in the way storms are famous. The Enigma boss. The name that lived in rumors and headlines. The man whose money built wings of hospitals and whose enemies tended to vanish without leaving blood behind. I had never wanted to share air with him. Enigma alphas were power wrapped in silence, and I had spent my whole life refusing to be wrapped by anyone. He did not smile. He did not introduce himself. He looked at me with an intensity that made my skin prickle and my instincts go dangerously still. Then he said my name as if he had practiced it. You died for 7 minutes, he said. My mouth opened and nothing came out because how do you answer that? Tears blurred my vision before I could stop them. I hated crying in front of people. I hated it most in front of him. You are alive now, he said. I brought you back. I wanted to tell him the doctors brought me back. Machines brought me back. That my life was not a gift from a man like him. But my throat was raw and my mind felt emptied and refilled with fear. All I could whisper was why. Because someone thought you were disposable, he said. Because my people saw what happened. Because you are not disposable. I tried to sit up and pain shot through my ribs. A nurse told me to stay down. The Enigma boss lifted his hand slightly and the nurse fell silent. Not with fear exactly. With respect. That tiny moment made my stomach drop more than any threat could. I stared at him. Who are you to decide what I am? He held my gaze without blinking. The one who will keep you breathing from now on, he said. The one who will keep you safe. The one who will claim you as mine so no one dares to finish what they started. Claim you as mine. My heart stumbled. My instincts sparked with alarm and confusion. I forced words out. I am not yours. His voice stayed calm. "Not yet," he said. "But the world will try to take you now that they know you can be used against me. I will not allow that." Used against him. I had lived my life carefully. I had avoided attention like it was fire. I had never imagined I could be leveraged in someone else's war. I whispered, "I just want to go home." "You cannot go home tonight," he said. "Your building has already been watched. Your name has already been spoken in rooms you have never entered." Fear rose hot and sharp. I wanted to deny it. Then I saw the guard at the door and the way he waited for someone to break through. I realized this room was not ordinary. It was a protected space inside a city that had teeth. The Enigma boss turned to leave and paused. He looked back at me and his voice lowered as if he was speaking only to me. "There is a reason your body came back when it did," he said. "There is a reason my scent reached you in the dark. Do not fight it tonight. Just stay alive." He left and the room felt colder. I lay back with aching ribs and a mind spinning. 7 minutes dead. An Enigma boss at my bedside. A promise of protection that sounded like possession. And somewhere beyond these walls someone who wanted me quiet had just learned I was still breathing. Discharge came fast and it felt wrong. The doctor spoke about stress and dehydration and a rhythm issue and then glanced at the guard at my door as if the real diagnosis lived outside the chart. I nodded like I understood. My hands shook when I signed because I could not stop thinking about 7 minutes of nothing and the way the Enigma boss had said my name like it belonged to him. When they wheeled me out, the hallway was too quiet. The staff moved with rehearsed calm. The elevator was cleared. The garage was empty except for one black car and one driver who did not look up. The Enigma boss waited beside the open door. He did not touch my chair. He did not rush me. He simply stood there like the building itself had decided to hold still around him. When I tried to stand, my knees buckled and his hand hovered near my elbow without landing. "May I?" he said. I hated how much I needed help. I nodded once and felt his palm support me through my sleeve. Warm, steady, no squeeze, no claim. The restraint made my throat burn with feelings I did not want. The ride was quiet. Streetlights smeared across tinted windows. He made calls in short calm phrases, and each call ended with people agreeing as if his voice was an order without force. We arrived at a building with no sign. A private elevator opened with a key and a fingerprint. The penthouse above smelled like cedar and cold rain. My instincts pulled back and then leaned forward again like they could not decide whether to fear him or cling to him. "You can rest here tonight," he said. "Tomorrow we will talk." I forced my voice steady. "I am leaving in the morning." He studied me. "You can leave whenever you choose," he said. "But you will not be safer outside my perimeter until I know who stopped your heart." I swallowed. "You keep saying who as if it was not an accident." "It was not an accident," he said. "Your drink was tampered." My stomach turned. I remembered the coffee tasting too sweet. My fingers went cold. "Why?" "Because you work near records," he said. "Because an Omega clerk looks harmless until an Omega clerk becomes a witness." I tried to breathe and my chest twinged. He stepped back half a pace as if to give me room. "Tell me what you need," he said. I did not expect that. I whispered, "I need my phone. I need to call my friend. I need to know my apartment is safe. And I need to know you are not doing this because you want to own me." He nodded once and handed me a phone that was not mine. "One secure call," he said. He turned away as I dialed as if privacy mattered. Mina answered and her voice shook with panic. She said men came to my building asking for me. She said they used the word Omega like a weapon. She said my landlord offered to pretend he had never seen me. My throat tightened. I told her I was alive. I told her I was safe for now. I ended the call before my voice broke. When I turned back, he was watching me with steady focus. "People already know you died and came back," he said. "They know you were taken from the hospital by my car." "Why would they know that?" I asked. "Because someone wanted you visible," he said. "A rumor spreads faster than a bullet." I felt sick. "You said you would claim me as yours." "I said it in a hospital room to stop them tonight," he replied. "I will not claim you in public unless you allow it." "Allow it?" The word made my pulse stumble. Most alphas did not ask permission when power was on their side. He was asking. That should have been comforting. It was fear because it meant my choice mattered. What happens if I say no? I asked. Then I will protect you anyway, he said. Quietly, at a distance. I put the heat on me. He walked me to a bedroom and stopped at the threshold. Lock is on your side, he said. No cameras. No staff. If you call my name, I will come. If you do not, I will stay away. Later a soft knock came. One knock and a pause. Permission. He stood in the hall holding a tablet. Security footage, he said. Read it if you want. I watched the clip while shaking hands. It showed me in the corridor holding the coffee. It showed a man in scrubs bumping my shoulder. It showed his hand steadying my cup for 1 second. It showed a ring with a crest tied to the docks and to the black market clinics everyone pretended did not exist. My breath caught. This was not random. My phone buzzed on the bed with a message from an unknown number. He brought you back. Now bring him to us and we will let you live. My hands went numb. I stepped into the hallway before I could think. He was there already, as if he had felt the shift in my breathing. I showed him the message. They have made their move, he said. Who? I whispered. The family that owns the docks, he said. They think you are the key to breaking me. I shook my head. I am not a key. To them you are leveraged, he said. To me you are a person who was almost stolen from life. Then he said the line that made the air feel thin. Tomorrow I will walk into the open and tell the city you are under my protection. And if they demand proof of what you are to me, he added softly, then you will hear me speak a truth I have kept locked in silence. My heart stumbled because I suddenly understood his claim was not only a strategy. It was also something he had been resisting. And outside the glass walls of his penthouse, the night began to feel like it was gathering teeth. Morning arrived and my body still felt borrowed. Every breath reminded me that I had been gone and dragged back. I dressed in the clothes left for me and hated that they fit as if someone had measured my shoulders in advance. I told myself it was only planning. I told myself it did not mean he had been thinking about me longer than a night. He waited near the window with his coat on. When I entered, he asked one question. Are you still choosing to stand with me? I swallowed. I do not know what I am choosing, I said. Then choose only this, he replied. Choose to stay alive today. We rode down in a private elevator. The lobby was full of cameras. Lights hit my eyes and reporters called my name like it belonged to them. I felt my instincts curl inward. He stepped half a pace in front of me and the noise shifted. People became careful. His hand hovered near my wrist and stopped. May I ask? I nodded because my knees felt weak. His fingers touched my sleeve lightly, and that small contact steadied me more than I wanted to admit. He guided me forward with a gentleness that did not erase the power imbalance but also did not turn me into property. It was protection that asked permission in every breath. Inside the conference room, microphones waited and screens glowed. He spoke to me first. They will say you are my Omega, he said. They will say I took you to hide evidence. They will demand you be handed over to their care. Handed over to who? I asked. To the Doc's family, he said. To their private clinic. To a place where people vanish. My stomach turned. I whispered, what do you want from me? Only your truth, he said. You will not be forced to say what you do not want to say. On stage, the first question was sharp. Are you his Omega? Did he claim you? He answered without rushing. He is under my protection, he said. He is here by choice. He can leave at any time and he will still be protected. Then the doors opened and the air changed. An older alpha entered with a calm smile that made my skin crawl. Behind him was a woman holding a tablet like a weapon. The older alpha spoke as if he owned the room. The Omega is unstable, he said. He requires custody. Custody made my throat close. The Enigma boss voice stayed calm. Show your warrant, he said. The older alpha smiled wider. We do not need a warrant when there is a binding mate clause. The tablet screen lit up with my name and a contract seal and a signature code. The room erupted. The word mate rose like smoke. Humiliation burned behind my eyes. A life being decided on a screen. The Enigma boss turned his head toward me. His gaze asked permission without words. Do you want me to speak? I nodded once because I could not find my voice. He faced the room. A contract is not consent, he said. A mate clause without choice is trafficking. This will be investigated and prosecuted. The older alpha laughed softly. Tell them why he woke when your scent reached him, he said. Tell them the truth. My breath caught. Cameras pointed at me. My instincts reacted and I hated them for it. They wanted to lean into him. They wanted to survive. He did not step closer. He did not touch me. He stayed still and gave me space. I forced words out. I am not a clause, I said. I am not in custody. I am not a headline. The older alpha eyes narrowed. Then you will die again, he said quietly. And next time no one will pull you back. My knees went weak. The Enigma boss voice sharpened for the first time. Enough, he said. Security moved. The older alpha retreated with a smile that felt like a promise of pain. We will see you at the docks tonight, he said. Then he left before anyone could stop him. The Enigma boss ended the conference and guided me through a private corridor where the noise fell away. My chest hurt and I pressed a hand to my sternum. I whispered, I feel like I am drowning. He stayed near without touching. I will not let you drown, he said. In the elevator, his control looked strained, as if words were pressing against his silence. The reason you came back is not their contract, he said. It is not their story. Then his phone buzzed. He read one message and his face went still. They have your friend, he said. My breath left my body. Mina. My voice broke on her name. They want you at the docks, he said. They want you to come without me. My hands shook. I whispered, I will go. You will not go alone, he said. And if you choose to stand with me, there will be no pretending anymore. I didn't know it then, and my heart wasn't ready to accept what my instincts were screaming, but something had already shifted between us, and there was no going back. If you're feeling what I felt in that moment, then you understand why I need you to stay with me through this journey. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens when he finally breaks his silence, because I promise you it will shatter everything you thought you knew about us. We did not race to the docks with sirens. He moved like a man who understood panic is a weapon used against the vulnerable. His people arrived in quiet cars. A medic checked my pulse and asked if I could walk. I said yes, even though my legs felt hollow. I refused to stay behind because Mina was out there and guilt sat in my throat like a stone. Before we left, he looked at me and asked for consent. Are you choosing to come? I nodded. I choose. Then stay close, he said. Not behind me. Beside me. The docks smelled like salt and fuel and wet wood. Fog clung to the water. Lights from cranes cut the dark into sharp slices. We approached a warehouse with a blue door because that was where the message demanded I arrive alone. He did not let me go alone. He also did not drag me. He walked with me at my pace and his security spread out like a net I could not see. The blue door opened. Inside, the air was cold. Mina sat on a chair with her wrists tied but her posture stubborn. Relief hit me so hard my vision blurred. I took a step and then froze because the older alpha stepped from the shadows with that calm smile that made my skin crawl. You came, he said. Good Omega. I felt rage rise. I swallowed it down. Let her go, I said. We can do business, he replied. Give yourself to custody, and she walks out. The Enigma boss entered behind me and the room changed shape. Release her now, he said. Law enforcement is already moving. The older alpha laughed. You hide behind law now. How sweet. The Enigma boss did not take the bait. He looked at me. This will be loud, he said. Do you want to step back? I stared at Mina. I shook my head. I stay. The older alpha lifted a tablet and my name flashed on a contract seal. He raised his voice so the night could hear it. Binding mate clause, he said. He belongs to you by nature. Prove it. Claim him. Take him. Claim. Prove. Take. Every word was a chain disguised as law. My chest tightened and my instincts wavered toward the only steady thing in the room. I hated that my body wanted safety. The Enigma boss stayed controlled. He did not flood the air with scent. He did not step closer to force my instincts to comply. His restraint gave me room to choose. I stepped forward and met the older alpha gaze. I am not in your custody, I said. I am not anyone clause. Let her go. The older alpha eyes narrowed. Then die next time, he said. A device clicked from somewhere unseen. My blocker patch warmed and my breath hitched. My knees threatened to fold. The room tilted and for a second I tasted that old edge of nothing. The Enigma boss hand lifted and stopped short. May I ask? Even now he asked. I nodded through panic. His palm settled on my shoulder through fabric, and his scent stayed controlled but present enough to anchor me. Breathe, he said. Slow. You are here. His team disabled the device in seconds. No violence. No spectacle. Mina was cut free and guided away. She rushed to me and gripped my hand for one shaking moment. I squeezed back and felt my eyes burn. Sirens arrived outside. Flashing lights cut through the warehouse windows. The older Alpha face tightened as if he had not expected real law to enter his private world. The Enigma boss had forced him into the open. Officers took statements. Evidence was collected. The older Alpha was restrained without harm and his smile finally cracked. When the space cleared, Mina was escorted out first. She whispered my name and told me she was okay. Then she looked at the Enigma boss and said thank you like she did not know what else to do. I stood with him in the quiet after and my body shook with aftershock. They said I will die without you, I whispered. He watched me with steady focus. They said that to trap you, he replied. The truth is quieter. Tell me, I asked. He inhaled as if it cost him. When you stopped breathing, my instincts reacted, he said. I felt it like a tear in the air. I came because I could not stay away. That is the only truth I can give you tonight. My chest tightened. Destiny and devotion and danger tangled inside me. He stepped back half a pace as if giving my fear space. I will not ask you to be mine, he said. Not yet. I will ask you to be safe. Stay within my protection until this case is finished. After that, you decide what you want from me. Nothing will be taken. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt the ache of a door opening. I whispered, and what do you want? For the first time, his silence cracked enough to show something raw. I want to stop being an enigma in my own life, he said. I want to speak without fear. Then his phone buzzed. He read one line and his face went still again. They found the payment trail for the device in your coffee, he said. The name on it is someone you will recognize. My breath caught because I realized the danger was not only his enemies. It was my own past walking back into the light. And I did not know if I was ready to see it. He did not show me the name immediately. He waited until Mina was safe and until my hands stopped shaking. That patience mattered because I was still learning the difference between control and care. We returned to the penthouse before dawn. Mina slept in a guest room wrapped in blankets and stubborn pride. I sat at the table with tea I could not taste. He placed his phone down and turned the screen toward me. The payment trail for the device came from a clinic account, he said. It was signed by a person, not a family. I leaned closer and my breath caught. The name was Dr. Celine Hart. For a second, I could not speak. Dr. Hart had been the intake physician when I was 19 and newly alone. She smiled at me and called me brave. She had given me my first prescription for blockers and told me to come back if I ever needed help. I had believed her because an Omega learns to cling to kindness like it is oxygen. I whispered she helped me. She used you, he said softly. Grief hit hard. I remembered signing a tablet in her office when my hands shook and I wanted relief. I remembered her telling me it was routine. Now I understand. She had my signature code. She had my data. She had sold it, and when they needed an Omega to break him, she offered my name like a product. I stood too fast and dizziness swept me. He moved closer and stopped short of touching. May I ask? I nodded because I could not pretend strength. His hand steadied my elbow and released the moment I stood on my own. That timing made my chest ache. He was always asking and always letting go. I hate her, I said. I hate myself for believing her. Do not hate the part of you that still hopes people can be good, he replied. That hope kept you alive before I ever knew your face. What happens now, I asked. Now we put her in the light, he said. We give the police the trail. We protect every Omega file she touches. We make sure she cannot do this again. And I asked. You will have choices, he said. An apartment under my protection with your own keys. No cameras. No staff. You can keep your job or leave it. If you want to disappear, we can do that. If you want to fight publicly, we can do that. Nothing will be decided without you. I swallowed. Why are you doing this? He was quiet, as if choosing words that would not become a chain. Because I was raised to believe power means taking, he said. I have spent my life proving I can hold power without cruelty. And because when you stopped breathing, something in me broke open and I could not pretend it was nothing. Later, Mina sat beside me at the table and squeezed my hand. We cried quietly because fear leaves echoes even after danger passes. By afternoon, his lawyer returned with updates. The doc's family was detained. The older Alpha was charged. The clinic was raided. Dr. Hart was arrested when investigators found contract templates and broker emails. The city finally saw what Omegas had always known. Consent can be forged by people who smile. The next morning, he drove me to a small apartment in a quiet building. It was not a gilded cage. It was simple and full of light. He placed keys in my palm. Your choice lives here, he said. I held the keys and felt something inside me unclench. I could leave. I could lock the door. I could breathe without guards in my room. Protection did not have to mean possession. He stayed at the doorway and waited. He did not assume he could enter. He did not assume he could stay. I asked the question that had haunted me since the hospital. When you said I came back because your scent reached me, that was true. He looked at me and the silence between us felt soft, not heavy. It was true, he said, but it was not magic. It was instinct meeting love that had nowhere to go yet. Love. The word made my throat tighten. He did not push it. He did not say it like a claim. He said it like a quiet truth he was afraid to hold too tightly. I whispered, I am scared of needing you. He nodded once. Then do not rush into need, he said. Let us build trust until needing feels like choosing, not like surrendering. His hand lifted and stopped. May I hold your hand? I placed my fingers in his palm. Warm, steady, no squeeze, no claim, just presence. At that moment, I did not feel owned. I felt seen. He released me first, as if reminding my body that I always had an exit. Then he stepped back. I will break my silence for you one piece at a time, he said. Only when you ask. After he left, I stood in the quiet apartment with keys in my pocket and sunlight on my face. I touched my chest and felt my heart beating on its own. 7 minutes dead had turned into a second life. Not because a boss claimed me, because a man chose restraint and asked permission and offered safety without taking my freedom. And for the first time, I believed being an Omega did not have to mean being owned. It could mean being chosen and choosing back. That's how my world changed and how I found home in the last place I expected. If the story made you feel something deep and real, then I create these emotional worlds every single week for hearts like yours that crave connection that goes beyond words. Subscribe so you never miss the moment when two broken souls find each other in the darkness. Your support means everything, and it lets me keep bringing you stories that understand what you're searching for. Hit that subscribe button and let's feel everything together, because you deserve stories that see you.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more emotional stories.